Okay. So have you ever been in like one of those conversations where you're kind of nodding along, but in your head, you're like writing a grocery list?
Right.
Or maybe you're just like waiting for your turn to talk
Yeah.
and you're not really like listening to the other person at all.
Exactly.
I think we've all been there.
Oh, for sure.
But what if there was like a way better way to have a conversation?
Like a superpower.
Yeah,
Oh.
right. Today, we're going to deep dive into active listening. And we've got this awesome YouTube podcast script called The Art of Active Listening.
I love that script.
Yeah, me too. It's so good.
It's packed with great advice.
I know.
And it can really help you improve all your relationships.
Okay, so I'm already thinking like, oh no, am I going to have to take notes and memorize all these techniques?
You know what's interesting is that the script really emphasizes that it's not about like memorizing techniques or being robotic about it.
Okay.
It's really about a mindset shift.
Okay.
It's about really genuinely wanting to understand the other person.
Oh, that makes sense. So being present and empathetic.
Exactly.
Got it. And I'm kind of curious, like, why does this even matter?
Well, did you know
Uh-huh.
that like 60% of mistakes at work are caused by poor communication?
Whoa. 60%.
That's a lot.
Right?
That's huge.
And that can lead to tension and conflict.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But on the flip side, couples who practice active listening,
Okay.
they report having 75% higher relationship satisfaction.
Wow. Okay, I am all in. Now I want to learn more.
Right.
So we know that active listening is important both at work and in our personal lives.
Definitely.
But what does it actually look like? I mean, is it just like nodding and saying, uh-huh?
Well, the script makes it clear that active listening is a lot more than just passively hearing.
Okay.
It's about like really engaging all your senses.
Okay.
You know, noticing the speaker's body language,
Yeah.
their tone of voice,
Yeah.
and really trying to get what they're saying from their perspective.
Okay, that makes sense. What about when you disagree with someone?
That's a good question.
And the script actually addresses that.
Okay.
It's not about pretending to agree or suppressing your own opinions.
Okay.
It's about creating a safe space where you can both be honest with each other.
So it's about finding that balance
Yes, exactly.
between honesty and understanding.
Yes.
Okay, so the script lays out 4 key steps
Right.
to becoming an active listening master. So let's break those down, starting with number 1.
Okay.
What's the first step to becoming an active listening ninja?
So step 1 is about setting the stage for a focused conversation.
Okay.
And the first thing you got to do is eliminate distractions.
Okay, so put away your phone, close your laptop.
Exactly.
But like, those are everywhere.
Oh, I know.
Like, I'm totally guilty of, listening to someone
Right.
while I'm scrolling through social media.
Yeah.
Is that really so bad?
Well, think about it from the other person's perspective. How would you feel
Yeah.
if the person you were talking to
Mm-hmm.
was constantly checking their phone?
Oh, gosh, yeah. Not good.
Yeah, you're basically saying that whatever's on that little screen
Yeah.
is more important than what they have to say.
Ouch.
Yeah.
And it's not just our phones.
Yeah.
It could be anything.
Yeah, like even just not making eye contact or
Right.
turning away from them,
Uh-huh.
that can be distracting too.
So like nonverbal cues are
Exactly.
really important.
It's about showing them that you're present
Okay.
and that you're interested in what they have to say.
Awesome. So distractions are out. What's step number 2?
Okay, so step 2 is listen to understand, not to respond.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Right.
How many times have you been, listening to someone,
Mm-hmm.
but in your head, you're already thinking about what you're going to say next?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a topic I'm passionate about.
Me too.
I'm already like prepping my arguments
Yeah.
instead of really listening to their perspective.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the trap.
Right? Because when we're so focused on like our response, we miss out on what the other person is actually saying.
You got it.
Yeah.
We're not fully present.
Right.
We miss the nuances, the emotions behind their words,
Yeah.
and the chance to connect.
So it's about shifting from like a me-centered
Yeah.
approach to a you-centered approach.
Sure.
Like putting aside our own agenda and really stepping into their shoes.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so step 3.
Step 3 is reflect and clarify.
Ooh, I like that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the script suggests using phrases like,
Okay.
it sounds like you're feeling,
Right.
or what I'm hearing
Let's
is,
see.
so that you're showing the other person
Uh-huh.
that you're not just hearing their words,
Yeah.
but that you're actually trying to understand what they mean.
Oh, I love that.
Right.
Because it shows that you're really trying to get them.
Yes.
Yeah.
It validates their feelings.
Yeah.
And it encourages them to share more. Okay, so it's not just passively absorbing information. It's actively showing them that you're trying to get them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like you're holding up a mirror to their
I
experience
love that.
and saying, I see you.
Yeah,
I hear you.
powerful. Okay, so we've eliminated distractions.
Yep.
We're listening to understand.
Uh-huh.
We're reflecting back.
Right.
What's the final step to becoming an active listening Jedi?
The fourth step is all about asking open-ended questions.
Okay.
So instead of asking questions that can be answered with a simple yes or no,
Yeah,
you want to ask questions that encourage the speaker to elaborate.
I see.
So things like, what was that experience like for you?
Right.
Or can you tell me more about what led to that decision?
Okay, so I'm getting the sense that, like, it's less about, like, getting the information
Yes.
and more about getting the person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're showing that you're interested in their thoughts and feelings,
Right.
not just the facts.
I like it.
Yeah.
So we've got the 4 steps. Eliminate distractions, listen to understand, reflect, and clarify, ask open-ended questions.
Uh-huh.
But does the script give any, like, real-world examples?
It does.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it talks about this manager named Sarah,
Okay.
whose team was struggling
Oh, no.
with communication.
Okay.
Yeah, they were missing deadlines.
Uh-oh.
Morale was low,
Not good.
and they just weren't working well together.
Classic communication breakdown.
Yeah.
So what did she do?
Well, she decided to put these active listening principles into practice.
Okay, so she walked the walk.
She did.
Yeah.
Yeah, she started by, like, making a conscious effort to eliminate distractions during meetings.
Okay.
No more multitasking,
Yeah.
no more checking emails.
Got it.
She was giving them her full attention.
I love that. And then
And then instead of just, like, telling them what to do,
Right.
she started asking them open-ended questions, like,
Okay.
what challenges are you facing?
Mhm.
And what support do you need from me?
So she actually cared about their perspective.
Yes.
Wow.
What happened?
Well, the results were amazing.
Really?
Yeah, communication improved, collaboration increased,
That's incredible.
and morale went way up.
Wow.
People felt heard
Yeah.
and valued.
Okay, so this active listening thing really works.
It does.
It's not just some fluffy concept.
Ooh.
Awesome. So we've got the theory, we've got the real-world example.
Uh-huh.
Anything else in the script that would be helpful?
Yeah, there are a couple of books that they recommend.
Okay.
You're Not Listening
Yeah.
by Kate Murphy
Okay.
and Nonviolent Communication by Marshall Rosenberg.
Got it. We'll put links to those in the episode description.
Right.
Cool. What about apps? Any apps?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All right.
So Otter.ai is great for transcribing conversations.
Okay.
So you can really focus on what's being said
Mm-hmm.
without having to take notes.
And that's important because if you're busy taking notes,
Right.
you're not really present.
Exactly.
Something else.
And then if you struggle with staying present,
They recommend mindfulness apps like Headspace.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because those can help you be more mindful
Exactly.
and present.
Yep.
Cool. So ultimately, this active listening thing,
Mhm.
it's about being present.
It is,
Right.
both mentally and emotionally.
It's about giving the other person
Right.
the gift of your full attention.
Yes.
Wow, this has been great.
Yeah.
I'm really seeing how powerful this is.
Me too.
But before we move on,
Okay.
I'm curious, what stood out to you the most?
You know, for me, what really resonated was that active listening is more than just a technique.
Okay,
It's a way of being.
I love that.
It's about approaching every interaction with a genuine desire to understand and to connect.
Yeah, and recognizing that everyone has a story to tell
Uh-huh.
and that we have the power to create a space for their stories to be heard.
Beautifully said.
We'll dive even deeper into that part 2 of this deep dive. Okay, so we've got these, like, 4 steps to becoming active listening masters.
Oh.
It's like we've got this, like, decoder ring for, like, human communication.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of stuck on how to actually use these steps in my real life.
Yeah, I get it. It can feel a little overwhelming at first.
Yeah.
But it's like learning any new skill. Like at first you have to think about it,
Uh-huh.
but with practice it becomes like second nature.
Like riding a bike.
Exactly.
Okay, so, like, build the muscle.
Yeah.
Start small.
Yeah.
Celebrate the wins.
Right.
But, like, where do I even begin?
Well, let's think about like the different areas of your life where active listening can really make a difference.
Like
So
what?
like we spend so much time at work,
Right.
so that's a good place to start.
Okay.
Like imagine a workplace where everyone feels heard and understood.
Yeah.
Think about the impact on like teamwork and problem solving.
Right, like meetings where everyone's actually listening to each other
Exactly.
and building on each other's ideas.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
And what about conflict resolution?
Oh, yeah.
If both sides feel hurt, then it's got to be easier to find a solution.
Definitely active listening can turn like those tense conversations into like productive dialogues.
Take the sting out of it.
Right, because it's not about winning or losing.
Right.
It's about finding a solution that works for everyone.
Okay, so active listening at work totally makes sense.
For sure.
What about in our personal lives?
Hmm.
With our partners, our friends, our families.
Well, you'd think we'd be good at listening to those we love,
Right?
but even in our closest relationships,
Yeah.
we can get into bad habits.
Like what?
Like not really paying attention, making assumptions, or, just not really listening.
Like selective hearing.
Exactly.
Ouch. Okay. I'm guilty of that sometimes.
We all are.
Yeah. But how does active listening actually make those relationships stronger?
Well, imagine your partner is telling you about their day,
Oh.
and they're sharing something that's really important to them.
Right.
Maybe they're stressed about work or excited about a new hobby. By actively listening, you're showing them that you care.
It's like you're saying, hey, I'm here for you. I'm listening.
Exactly. And that can be so powerful.
Especially when they're going through a tough time.
Right. It makes them feel seen and heard.
Right. And understood.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that strengthens the relationship.
It builds trust
Yes,
and connection.
it does.
And it can also prevent those like communication breakdowns
Definitely.
that can lead to arguments.
Uh-huh.
So it's like building a bridge instead of creating a chasm.
I love that metaphor.
And it's not just about like, avoiding conflict.
Yeah.
Active listening can also bring more joy into our relationships.
Absolutely.
Like when we really listen to each other's stories,
Uh-huh.
we discover all these like little quirks and details that make each person so unique.
Yeah.
It's like finding hidden treasures.
I love that.
Okay, so we've covered work, we've covered personal relationships.
Mhm.
Is there anywhere else where active listening is important?
Well, think about your interactions with strangers or acquaintances.
Okay.
Active listening can turn those like everyday encounters
Yeah.
into moments of connection.
Like chatting with the barista at the coffee shop
Exactly.
instead of staring at my phone.
Oh, right.
It's like opening yourself up to the possibility of, connection.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe even a new friendship.
Right. You never know what might happen.
Exactly.
So active listening is so much more than just a communication skill.
It is.
It's like a way of being in the world.
It's about approaching every interaction with curiosity and empathy.
And a desire to connect.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm like totally blown away by this.
Me too.
I'm starting to see how active listening can transform not just my relationships, but my whole perspective on life.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but let's bring it back to the script for a sec.
Okay.
Does it offer any guidance on how to actually develop these like active listening superpowers?
It does.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it talks about the importance of self-awareness
Okay.
and reflection.
Right.
So like paying attention to your own listening habits,
Uh-huh.
noticing when you're zoning out or interrupting,
Right.
and then like gently guiding yourself back to a place of curiosity and openness.
So it's about being aware of that like inner voice
Exactly.
that can distract us from really listening.
Yes. Yeah.
But how do we quiet that voice?
Well, the script suggests some simple practices,
Okay.
like taking a few deep breaths before a conversation,
Okay.
setting an intention to be present,
Uh-huh.
and reminding yourself that listening is a gift.
I love that.
Right.
It's a gift you give to yourself
Uh-huh.
and to the other person.
Exactly.
Okay, so shift our mindset
Yes.
from what am I going to say next
Right.
to what can I learn from this person.
Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah.
And the script reminds us that this is a journey,
Is.
not a destination.
Right. We're going to have good days and bad days.
Yeah.
But the key is to be patient with ourselves
Right.
and to keep practicing.
This has been awesome.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see the power of this active listening thing.
Me too.
But there's this one question that's been bugging me.
Okay.
If active listening is so powerful,
Uh-huh.
why aren't we all doing it?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And it's one that we'll explore in the final part of our deep dive.
Okay.
We'll talk about the barriers that prevent us from truly listening
Right.
and the amazing benefits that await those who do.
Welcome back to our deep dive on active listening.
Yeah.
It's been like really eye-opening so far.
It has.
But I keep coming back to this one question.
Okay.
Like, if active listening is so powerful,
Yeah.
why isn't everyone doing it?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And honestly, it kind of comes down to like basic human nature.
What do you mean?
Well, think about it.
Okay.
We live in a world that's all about like talking and self-promotion
Yeah.
and like even interrupting. Like from when we're kids, we're taught to express ourselves to get our point across.
To win arguments.
Exactly.
Yeah, but like listening,
Right.
that's not really emphasized.
Yeah, it's almost like we see listening as passive.
Like the real action is in the talking.
Right.
But what we've been talking about is that the real power is in the listening.
I agree.
It's where like real transformation happens.
Exactly. And there's something else too.
Okay, what's that?
Really listening to someone,
Uh-huh.
it requires vulnerability.
I haven't thought about that.
Yeah, it means like setting aside your own judgments and biases
Right.
and opening yourself up to the possibility of being changed by what you hear.
And that can be scary.
It can be.
Yeah, like we're so busy guarding our own opinions
Right.
that we miss the chance to learn from other people,
And grow.
right? But the rewards have got to be worth it.
They are.
Yeah.
Like the script talks about all these amazing benefits.
Like what?
Well, for one, active listening can reduce stress.
Really?
Yeah, and it can increase your empathy
Okay.
and even make you a better problem solver.
Wow. So it's not just about communication.
Yeah.
It's about becoming a better person.
I think so.
Wow, this active listening thing is like the key to unlocking human potential.
I like that.
And there's something else the script mentioned.
What's that?
Active listening can also make you more self-aware.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
How so?
Well, when you really listen to other people,
Mm-hmm.
you start to notice things about yourself.
Okay.
Like how you communicate,
Yeah,
how you react to things,
I see.
and even your own biases.
So it's like holding up a mirror
Exactly.
to our own inner selves.
Yes.
Wow, this has been an amazing deep dive.
It has.
I'm so glad we did this.
Me too.
We've learned so much about active listening.
Yeah, from the 4 key steps
Right.
to the benefits
Right.
and even how to overcome the barriers.
Yeah, and I think the biggest takeaway for me
Okay.
is that active listening is more than just a skill.
Yeah,
It's a way of being in the world.
it is.
It's about approaching every interaction with curiosity
and empathy.
and a desire to connect.
Beautifully said.
So to wrap things up, I want to challenge everyone listening
Okay.
to think about the people who are most important to you,
Mm-hmm.
your partner, your family, your friends, your colleagues. How can you use active listening to strengthen those relationships,
What would it look like to really hear them?
to really understand them?
That's a great challenge.
Yeah, I'm ready to put this into practice.
Me too.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into active listening. We'll see you next time.